There it goes.
Hello, this is George.
And Bonnie. Mwah.
This is the Tiny Gate to Yeshua.
Yep. And it's Tuesday, December
Something.
20th.
20th. Okay.
Yeah, December 20th.
Well, the topic tonight is love. We know all the answers.
Okay. That's one of us.
That was a joke. Okay, love. What is love? When you were or are first dating, do you hold hands? Does that mean you love that person? When you were younger? How about when you're old like me? Does my sweetie hold my hand so I don't fall over? Or because she still loves me? Think about it. The only love some people get is when you hold their hand. Maybe for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Usually they love that touch. To some it means nothing. Yet to some, it's a feeling that someone cares.
True.
We are not telling anyone what to do. But you would be amazed at how many times I kiss my wife. How many times I say I love you. We know our first reading today is not usually spoken of towards husbands and wives, but our reading really doesn't pertain to husbands and wives, but she's going to read it anyway. Revelations 3:15 and 16, please.
For I know what you are doing. You are neither cold nor hot. How I wish you were either one or the other. So because you are lukewarm, neither cold nor hot, I will vomit you out of my mouth.
Think about this. Husbands, how lukewarm are you? Wives, you're not hot or cold to him, so I guess in most cases both of you are happy being lukewarm. If Adonai vomits the Messianic community out of his mouth because they or anyone is lukewarm, what do you think Adonai would do with the likes of you two? Or, what do you look like to him? Here's a question. Do you take your wife or husband for granted? Don't worry, we'll get the scripture. You've been married for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, and the other one knows how you felt years ago. And heck, if you give her an anniversary card or maybe even a birthday card to remind her of your love, or does it tell your spouse and remind him how old he's getting? Know your love. Most people's thinking anyway is their love is 1 Corinthians 13:4.
Love is patient and kind, not jealous, not boastful.
Think about it. Husbands and wives, you aren't really lovey-dovey, but you're patient and kind, not jealous, not boastful. When people start to believe they have shown their love enough to last a lifetime, and now it's time to put your faith in order, listen to what Paul wrote in 1 Corinthians 13:2.
I may have the gift of prophecy. I may fathom all mysteries, know all things, have all faith, enough to move mountains. But if I lack love, I am nothing. Sorry, guys.
He stated he can know all things, can fathom all mysteries, have faith large enough to move mountains. But Paul wrote, if you lack love, or he wrote, if I lack love, he has nothing. In other words, if you lack love, you have nothing. Here's one statement that will not line up with any religious brainwashing. I'll restate that. Here's one statement that will not line up with any religious brainwashing. Are you ready?
Yep.
Sure. Scripture is not an emotional thing. Scripture is not an emotional thing. It's not even a love thing. What is it then? Well, I would say it's a truth thing. The falsehood of denominational philosophy or church doctrine is staggering. It's not truth. They take the scriptures and they mold them the way they want them. Yet they play on the feelings. Now, where are we going with that? How about, well, I bet all my brothers passed away except one. How about my brother died? He must be in heaven now. He's in a better place. Playing on your emotions, not showing you biblical scripture. Well, I'm sure they can...
Never mind. Go.
We had something pop up she had to get rid of. Oh, I'm sure they can pull something here or there and get you to feel better than what you feel or felt about your brother or sister, your dad, your mom, your husband, your wife, your son, your daughter, your grandchildren, or maybe your friends. Do you think, well, they're better off now? In other words, emotional, not biblical. Matanyahu, or Matthew 16:27, please.
For the Son of Man will come in his Father's glory with his angels, and then he will repay everyone according to his conduct.
And then, when he returns in his Father's glory, and with his angels, see, when Yeshua or Yeshua really will be the true judge of our past, if we are alive or dead. Everybody, if we are alive or dead, everybody will be judged when he returns. That's scriptural, that's not Georgial. Even the criminal who was crucified with Yeshua. Yeah, Luke 23:43. Read that, please.
Yeshua said to him, "Yes, I promise that you will be with me today in Gan Eden."
The interesting part is verse 42 of Luke 23:42.
Then he said, "Yeshua, remember me when you come as king."
Think about it. That's one of the criminals that was crucified on the cross, and he says to the Lord, "Remember me when you come as king." He wasn't referring to right now. No, he says, when you come as king. This criminal's body was laid to rest while his soul or spirit, like the scripture states, went with Yeshua or Yeshua. He went with him that day in Gan Eden. Today they like to call it paradise, but it's not heaven and not the full torment place of hell. There are two sections of Gan Eden. In the Hebrew, believe that's Abraham's bosom, what English people call paradise, and Hades. Neither is heaven and neither is hell. We don't go to our eternal place until Yeshua returns, until Yeshua returns. 1 Thessalonians 4:16 and 17, please.
For the Lord himself will come down from heaven with a rousing cry, with a call from one of the ruling angels and with God's shofar. Those who died united with the Messiah will be first to rise. Then we who are left still alive will be caught up with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and thus we will always be with the Lord.
The shofar. God's shofar has its sound, and the dead in the Messiah, the only one who died in Yeshua. Why? Because of Yochanan, or John 14:13 and 14, please.
14?
14, 13 and 14.
In fact, whatever you ask in my name I will do, so that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If you ask me for something in my name, I will do it.
Can you imagine? He stated twice.
Twice.
In my name. Before the brainwashed part, pointing to what their preacher, priest, or even their rabbi teacher stated to get you to believe like them instead of what the scriptures say, the Messiah stated, in my name. Not in a translation of a translation, not an English name coming from a made-up Greek name. No, fake name coming from the world. No, the Messiah, Yeshua, or Yeshua, stated, in my name. I know you're thinking, what in the world do you call it love for? Think about this. Now that's what you should call love. Adonai's love for you. Love is kind of strange. So many different feelings, different words, activities, desires, and we care less how you view that four-letter word, L-O-V-E, love. See, it's not up to us. Don't want it to be how we feel or about us. It's about truth in the word love and in the scripture. Just like the truth in scripture, many interpretations, viewpoints, feelings, and desires, but if you have not love, are you just a clanging cymbal, as the scriptures state? If you help someone, do something for someone, even if they act like they don't need it, that is showing love. Not the physical love, but the love of being a good friend, neighbor, or just to show that person you care. Isn't that love? A handshake, hug, or a kiss shows you care enough, but in a lot of places, those are looked down on because they do show you care. Isn't that sad? A society dictates how you should show someone else that you care. If your gain is the best you will ever have, your gain must be with one element. 1 Corinthians 13:3, please.
I may give away everything that I own. I may even hand over my body to be burned. But if I lack love, I gain nothing.
If I, or you, lack love, scriptures state we gain nothing. Let us ask you, what will pass away when no longer needed? Knowledge? Tongues? Even prophecies? when you are old like me, is tongues all that important? Is prophesying that important? If all knowledge is to follow some individual, religion, denomination, or church instead of the true Messiah, Yeshua, then you should say, now this is important, then you should say your knowledge has already passed away. But when all those are a thing of your past, the one thing you need and have left is love. 1 Corinthians 13:8, please.
Love never ends, but prophecies will pass, tongues will cease, knowledge will pass.
Read that again.
Love never ends, but prophecies will pass, tongues will cease, knowledge will pass.
That's what we read before.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. That's very interesting how verses 9 and 10 explain why. Read 9 and 10, please.
For our knowledge is partial, our prophecy partial. But when the perfect comes, the partial will pass.
They are partial. And the partial will pass away when perfect comes. Everything we read before is partial. But what's perfect? Yeshua. Yeshua. The knowledge of Yeshua is now, but when he returns, that's interesting. What's partial? And what's perfect? Yeshua. The knowledge of Yeshua or Yeshua is now, but when he returns, then 1 Thessalonians 4:16 and 17. Read that.
For the Lord himself will come down from heaven with a rousing cry, with a call from one of the ruling angels, and with God's shofar. Those who died united with the Messiah will be first to rise. Then we who are left still alive will be caught up with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and thus we will always be with the Lord.
That knowledge will become your love for him, along with your love for the Father. The partial, as she read, the partial are gone, the perfect come. The second coming, the perfect come. In almost all cases, you speak as a child. You think as a child, but the time will come when you must stop your childish ways and believe the Scripture, not man. 1 Corinthians 13:11, please.
When I was a child, I spoke like a child, thought like a child, argued like a child. Now I have become a man. I have finished my childish ways.
Think and believe Scripture, not some man-made religion. Have you noticed Scripture never says to trust partially? Or to hope partially? Or to love partially? No, it states they are the three that last. And which one does Scripture say, or which one does Scripture state is the greatest? Read 13 again, please.
13:13?
No, read verse 13 again.
I haven't read that yet.
Oh.
I'm reading it. I know you help me read it again.
Put it again on
Yeah,
there.
it's okay. But for now, 3 things last. Trust, hope, love. And the greatest of these is love.
Love. Love. The love of the Father. the love of his son, Yeshua. That is the entity, the only entity that will last. What lasts? The love of the Father. The love of his son, Yeshua. We'll end this with my honey reading the strongest two-word statement that about Yeshua and the Father that is summed up by reading the last part we're going to read. Read the last part.
Pursue love.
She read, pursue love. Adonai, God's love, not man's. You can pursue all the man-made love you want. But when you pursue love, the only love that will last is the perfect one. Like my sweetie just read. Read it one more time.
Pursue love.
That's right. Told you it was going to be short. Pursue love.
Pursue love.
Not our love. Not man's love. Only one love that'll last forever.
So true. So,
Well,
have a good week, guys. Thanks for being part of our Tuesday night. And oh, by the way, Merry Christmas. We'll see you on the other side next week.
really?
Yep.
Wow, Christmas is that
yeah,
close.
Yep. Christmas is that close. Anyway, guys, have a good week. Like and share this. And check us out on YouTube.
And what's that?
George Nelson Live Facebook video. You'll see all our videos we've done. Check it out. Subscribe so you know when I've posted it.
God bless.
So have a good week, guys.